Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am PANCZASU. Welcome back to Broken Lost tutorial slash playthrough. Like I promised last time, we started with bang. The siege has already been started in the enemy city. For whatever reason, the flags are not green, they are grey, but it's a minor graphics bug that sometimes happens. Regardless, the city is under siege. Once its fortifications are down to zero, all the defenders, including those 3 Harmonites standing right there, will start taking damage subsequently and eventually die. What the AI can do to stop it is to march out and meet me on the battlefield of glory, but if I were them I probably wouldn't do so just yet. For Harmonites, yeah, no way I could kill them all. They just have stats that are just simply too good. Do you see their life? Do you see their defense? Their attack and damage? It's almost impossible to do anything to these guys, and they can do a lot to you. But subsequently, I also have those Star Wards. The nice thing about Star Wards and Broken Lords is that I can also be very resistant when it comes to damage. So even if the AI does attack me, I simply will not care. I'll take some damage, I'll heal up, and I'll continue the siege. Those guys have to kill me in order to stop the siege, and I'll not let them do that. But in order to make sure that things will go as planned, I'm obviously going to try and reinforce my army with more armies, because I had you like some army with armies, and I'm not even making any sense. Regardless, let's send in some additional Star Wards. These are Star Wards 3, they have better swords, slightly better. The difference is almost none, but there is some sort of difference, I believe. No, there actually is, I'm just making fun of those guys. Regardless, it's nice to have them, they will be very helpful. Make even more Star Wards in Soul Eater. Why? Because I need more of an army. It might look like a bit of an overkill from your perspective, I know, but trust me, I have experience in dealing with endless AI playing as the other mages, and if anything, they don't joke around when you start trying to capture the capital. I think I can very easily, even with the armies I have already, get the fortification of those cities down to 0. But after I do that, I'll also have to defeat any defenders that are nearby the city. Just staying in a city will only starve the city, but I will not gain the city as a result of that. It will starve and that's it. And it will starve down to 1 population, which is not something I want. I wanted to have as much population as possible, so when I capture it, I don't have to spend dust on the gaining said population. So I will need a big army to, after I'm done with the defenders, kill all the other defenders. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say here. It's actually very important. So let's have a quick... Ooh boy, that's the enemy army. I knew they are around here somewhere. That's gonna be a little bit scary and a little bit difficult to deal with. Thankfully, they do have ways to go. They cannot get to me just yet, and it will take them a while to do just that, because there's a cliff in the way and there's a forest barricading, per se, the only way they can take to this city. So I do have some time before they attack me, but some is not a great deal of time indeed, especially since if this guy attacks me alone, then those other guys will join in as reinforcements, and I'll be in a pretty dire situation. This cliff would mean a lot to me if we had a battle over here and I had some ranged units. But being Broken Lords, I don't have ranged units. I think that is kinda obvious. So, in my city I continue trying to make as many Star Wards as possible. I think I explained well enough why I need to do so. I think you have now seen why I need to do so. What else I could do? Heal up the hero and assign him to my army. Question is, do I really want to do so right now? Because if I wait for 1 more 10, I can also give my hero something like improved damage for actually giving him ability to deal damage. But I'd rather make sure that he's already on the battlefield. Sure, I lose some of the dust bonus in my city that I normally gain from this hero, but if I am to have a battle over there, I would rather try to actually win it, if you know what I mean. That would be rather helpful. So let's go ahead and assign this hero in here as well. Now I've got 2 pretty potent damage dealers. If this entire enemy army attacks me, I'll still be in a pretty bad shape, but we'll see how well it goes exactly. The warlocks are what bothers me the most, to be entirely honest with you. Actually, what I could do is run over here so that the enemy army has an even longer path to get to me, and I like this idea a lot. Let's try to make myself as well defended from the enemy army as humanly possible. And the 10, yes, I think I have done everything I could possibly have done. So the problem with enemy warlocks, as I said before many times, is that they deal more damage as they take damage. And the other problem is because the enemy AI gets bonuses to unit experience when they are being purchased, and I think maybe stats as well, but I think it's mostly experience. Regardless, both translate into roll stats bonus, which is why those warlocks, even on their own, are pretty powerful and they can deal with my stalwarts very efficiently. Additionally, those zealots, there's only one of them here, and I'm pretty sure the hero I saw before did not have any zealots in the army. But they are pretty good with killing me, even though fire rain has been nerfed, and even though range units as a whole has also been nerfed. Can you believe that this damage you're seeing on the zealot has been nerfed by 30%? Because it has. But yeah. Imagine how crazy overpowered they used to be. Oh, I think you can remember that just fine. Gold booster just ran out. Well, that is just peachy, but hey, things like that do happen. Can I try to move my army further back a little bit more? Yes, I can. So let's just try and do just that, because it will be rather helpful. In fact, I just realized, can the enemy army even get to me from this position? I think they can if they attack from this angle, because there's no cliff between those two hexes. But they can attack me from this hex, because there are ruins over here. Haha, losers! They cannot walk through city either, because there is because the city is under siege, so they cannot possibly enter what is currently besieged. They can attack my stalwarts, and if that happens, I don't know what I will do. I'll probably have to retreat. But this will be extra time that my other people will be able to spend trying to conquer the city. And if I have to retreat with those guys, I'll have to regroup with my other armies and then try to attack and kill the enemy one by one. This is really how you can only hope to try and kill the enemy army, just by attacking them, you know, trying to separate the enemy army. Like, this time we, instead of connect and conquer, which is the tactic I use in my strategy for this game, when you fight the enemy armies, you have to divide and conquer. So there's that. Oh, but the enemy army actually attacked me through the city. So it is possible to do it now? Unless it's the Harmonite that declared the battle. Yes, it is the Harmonite that declared the battle. I see. Well, this is not exactly ideal to me, because those guys can wreck my stuff quite easily, in fact. Harmonites are bad enough as it is. I mean, they would just stand here and do nothing whatsoever and be mildly annoying, but the other guys, ooh, I'm not too convinced about that. What can I do in this situation? I mean, I can either retreat by turning off those reinforcements and then pressing retreat, but then I'll take damage. This stalwart will just flat out die because he's got not a lot of health left, so he will just die from retreating, and I accomplish nothing. Alternatively, I can try to stand in this fight, but Harmonites spawn in first, which is pretty bad, because then they'll protect everybody else who spawns, which is also pretty bad. I am also tempted to see how the auto battle would work, but I can guarantee you that the results would be horrible. But just for experimentation's sake, I will do it. I'll be right back. Alright, I have reloaded the autosave and something really strange happened. That happened. I don't know why the enemy AI actually split their armies like this, it's rather weird. I'm not gonna complain about it though. But what I did do is, I just realized I was supposed to record this, not do this off camera, whatever. So I'll tell you what I did. I played the fight in the auto battle. The enemy obviously killed almost all of my units and lost one warlock. And that's it, nothing was even damaged. In spectator mode things were different, interestingly enough, because my heroes took no damage because they are standing in the back doing nothing whatsoever. My entire army was gone with a few stalwarts still alive, and the enemy actually took quite a bit of damage, but nothing was killed either. I think I can do way better in manual mode, however, so let's get right to it. I could also retreat, but I would not have the dust to keep my units healed up. As you can see, if I exit the battle and go into my city, even if I put everybody into dust production, I will only be able to keep one stalwart alive each turn after retreating every turn, which is not exactly ideal. I may be forced to do something of the sort later on if things go very dire, because above all I need to keep this siege up, to weaken the enemy AI, kill the defenders within the city, and prepare for a bigger assault. And by bigger I hopefully mean also better. Alrighty then, so as you can see, the battlefield is really not in my favor, because this large cliff separates those two battlefields almost perfectly. There's only two ways to get to the other side of the battlefield, three ways. Through here, and through here. Very bad because the enemy has ranged units, I do not. However, what I can do is just show them a middle finger and be like, you know what? I win if I don't lose, basically. That's how I look at this fight. So what I can do is just sit in a forest where I gain significant defensive bonuses and be like, sup, you wanna kill me? Well, be my guest, I'm in a forest, I'm gonna take quite a bit of punishment before you can do anything whatsoever to me. So I'll do just that. Now, for the time being, there are no witches, or how they call it, zealots in the enemy army. They will spawn later, but before they do, I can surround my hero in order to give him a bigger morale bonus. You can stay in the back, you go over here. Above all, I want to keep my stalwarts alive. With little HP, that's fine, but if they stay alive with little HP, I can heal them up. If they die and I cannot bring them back, aside from building them again. So I'd rather have this guy stay in the back and secure the back, or do something else that is worthless, than be, you know, on the front line. Now, my hero is extremely well defended. He's got... I mean, his defense is only slightly better than the Harmonite's defense, so he's not that great when you think about it. But I'm not endless AI, I do not gain cheaty bonuses of the sort, so he is really quite good when it comes to this. Additionally, once my hero spawns, and he just did, which is rather great, he will be able to heal my hero indefinitely, which is rather great. What is the range of the heal? As far as his damage range is. So I'll make him... my hero will not take damage instead, so I'll make this guy walk to over here so I can clear this reinforcement banner. Also, this reinforcement banner is so bad. I mean, it's in this cliff, so in order to get out of this area I have to walk like this. Super awkward. I wish, if there was one thing in this game I really wish was implemented, then that's the ability to put the reinforcement banners whenever you choose to put them, instead of having to, you know, rely on the AI putting the reinforcement banners in the right place, because otherwise it's everything just quite silly, wouldn't you say so? So I'm putting all my units into hold position. It's better to be in the forest than in the high ground, in my opinion, because of, you know, the extra defense you can get from the forest. Small difference in height is not a very big deal. Udir says, I think I'll try to maybe attack the enemy from the southern flank, since I'll be gaining reinforcements from over there as well. So I'll move this guy over there. And I'll move this guy over there as well. I'll move a lot of my stalwarts to the south and try to see if I can flank the enemy witches perhaps and snipe a couple of them. Meanwhile, I'll keep a few stalwarts up here still. I mean, I could move him forward for the time being. There are no witches anywhere around, and I will be able to deal some extra damage to this Harmonite. Which is not a very bad idea, all things considered. Extra damage to the Harmonite, I can dig that. So, actually, let's walk up a little bit and deal some damage to the Harmonite. I'll, in fact, follow it up with a single stalwart, it looks like. Yeah, only a single one. This guy will stay where he is right now. And I tried to move him over here, but there is a risk associated with it. More units are going to spawn on those deployed beacons, and those could be the witches. And try to remember if they are in order for the next phase of spawning thingy. Maybe, maybe not. I think I can risk it though, for the extra morale bonus when attacking the Harmonite next turn. So I'll do something of the sort. You guys keep on moving south, you are moving over here so he can assist my hero, good. Now the reason why I want my hero to be on the front line and also be assisted by my other hero is because AI always prioritizes targeting your hero rather than your actual units. Which is very important to remember, because you can utilize this fact to protect your units that would otherwise take some unnecessary damage, or just damage you would rather have them not take. So the enemy is slowly marching forward. Did they get the witches? No. By the way, I keep calling the zealots witches because the zealots, Attaché zealots, used to be called witches. Back in the old days, way before game was even in alpha release, right? But that's how they used to be called in the code, and I saw this once and I'm like, oh yeah, they're witches now. And I keep thinking of them as witches, so that's a little backstory as to why I call them witches. Okay, I'm going to keep moving forward. Now there is a risk associated with it, because when the witches spawn, and they will spawn now this turn, they will be able to attack my stalwarts. So I'm going to try and give them a better target. Maybe. You sir, when you move over here, you will have 1, 2, 3 range. Not quite enough, although I can heal up this stalwart. So I'll go ahead and do just that. Heal up this stalwart because I can. You go to this forest now. Maybe I might have something interesting to do with him later. Of course, there will be a witch that will spawn over here, and this witch will attack my hero most likely. So I don't want this stalwart to be close to my hero, because then the stalwart will take damage, which is not exactly ideal. Okay, this guy is going to move in. Oh, he's gonna block me in, isn't he? Yeah, that is going to be a little bit of a pickle. So he might go for the hero, he might not. Let's assume he will not go for the hero for the time being, and see what I can do with that. If he does not go for the hero, I would like to move my army forward, but only a little bit. I don't want this Harmonite to be able to attack this stalwart. So actually, you stay right here. You attack this guy like so. You move over here for the morale bonus. No, no, no. Move over here for the morale bonus, but don't make sure that he's not in the way of my other units. And you will move after the hero, so you'll be able to move to this town. So I'll give you the order to move to this town, and he should move in the right direction, more or less. Alrighty then. Now, I'm gonna warn you right now, in case you have not figured it out yet yourself, this battle is going to take for absolutely effing ever, because I'm not going to let the AI just dictate the battle as it sees fit. I will not just roll over and die because the AI wants me to. So in order to do that, I will need to take my sweet time and try to make sure that everything is fine. Now, my hero is probably going to die next turn, and there is nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. Although he does have the highest initiative as of right now, so I could, in theory, try to retreat with him. But I think that the witches that will spawn, and they will spawn, will have a higher initiative than my heroes, so this plan will probably fail. Good job on missing! That was what odds? I didn't actually look, but there were very low odds of missing. 25% is not super low, I admit, but... Okay, so this witch will be able to kill my hero probably. 90 damage! How did you have 90 damage? You used to have less before. You used to have 70 something. Now you have 90. What did I miss? I don't know, but I'm not liking what I missed. 90 damage, so she will kill my hero, no problemo. But in the event she does not somehow kill my hero, I'd like to retreat him slightly and keep him alive so that the AI has something else to focus on, right? You move over here and do heal my hero if you at all can. You stay where you are, actually. I like when you stay right here. You kill the Harmonite, I might as well kill him. It doesn't actually matter if I kill him or not, now that I think about it. And it might be smarter to try and retreat slightly. Why? Well, simply speaking, this Harmonite is within these borders already. So, sooner or later he will die because of starvation. So I don't really care about killing him just yet. I do care, however, about keeping my army alive. So let's retreat a little bit with some of those stalwarts. You keep on moving forward. I do want to see if I can maybe, just maybe, get a flank on the zealots. So let's move slightly backwards so that the hero does not know what she wants to do. Actually, I do want to move forward in order to give them like a bait. I want to make sure that the enemy hero attacks, enemy witches attack my units instead of attacking my hero. So let's give them a little bit of a bait. I like this idea. You move forward as much as you possibly can. You also move forward and you try to move over here. Now again, this battleground is super bad for me, because you can see what is happening to battle deployment. My units are split in half and I have no ranged units. The enemy's units are all together and they are not split and they have ranged units. But I did save my hero indeed, which makes me rather happy because he will be my damage sponge. And as you can see, those warlocks, they're just moving around. They could have attacked my stalwarts, but I think the enemy... Oh, don't tell me I'm gonna lose my hero. Oh, no, 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 he's still alive, he's fine. I will heal him slightly. Will this be enough? Probably not. Those witches can still finish me off, I think. But as long as I keep him alive, my other units don't take damage, which is very important. And maybe, just maybe, I will be able to move in from the back and try to attempt a snap on the witches, which would be rather Oh, I forgot to attack this guy. No! It's gonna hurt. That was completely my fault. I should have told the stalwarts to keep attacking him. Completely my fault. I have nothing to, like, say to defend myself. Alrighty then. Alright, so first things first, make sure that when the zealots attack, they only attack my hero. So my hero is gonna move here and heal himself, because he'll probably need to heal himself. As for all my other units, you try to move back. You try to kill this bastard, who I should have killed before, honestly. Actually, you help him try to kill him, just because. As for you, see, maybe, just maybe I'll be able to snap the witches, but now the militia started spawning, so it is very unlikely. And there's also this Harmonite I have to consider, so... Yeah, and the Harmonite will block the exit for me as well. He stands over here and I cannot pass. Like, at all. Maybe he will walk to somewhere else, but I have my doubts somehow that this will happen. So right now, all I have to do is just sit here and try to take as little damage as possible. This battleground, I cannot believe it. I was like happy because the enemy was not supposed to attack through me, but the city defenders attacked me, which is obvious, but I didn't think about it. So now, as I said, the enemy AI will focus 100% primarily on my hero, and they will only focus on my hero and just flat out ignore everything else there is to attack. But because those guys do area of effect damage, it doesn't really matter, since I'm still going to take quite a bit of a punishment as a direct result. So my star was in the north, I'm probably gonna get killed. And I will not get all that much done in this battle, I'm afraid. The enemy used all of their armies to attack me, and attacked me in pretty much the best ground area, battleground possible, imaginable. I mean, this battle could not have been better for the AI, no matter how I would think about it, honestly. So this is... oh great, and critical miss. Yeah, that's lovely, that's 25% odds, but sure you had to miss. Now I will not even be able to attack again, will I? No, indeed I will not. I could kill this guy off, but honestly he causes the enemy upkeep, so you know what? Whatever, I'll just heal myself. You try to kill him if you can. If you can't, it's not a big deal. You stay in the forest, definitely, but far away from my hero. You keep on moving along. You can actually attack the Harmonite, which is good because it will waste his retaliation and possibly allow me to move upwards a little bit. Possibly unlikely, honestly, though. So let's keep on moving along and launch the combat. That's the 5th turn of the battlefield. Obviously my hero is gonna take even more damage. He might actually die, surprisingly enough, but again, with the sick amount of damage and attack the enemy has, it's just part of the course, I guess. I do wonder why the enemy zealots' damage was actually increased. It does seem a little bit weird to me. I'm not sure why this happened. Whatever, I guess it just did happen. So regardless, now, as we're waiting for the battle to finish, come on, come on. Actually, since it is not entirely all that, you know... oh wow, I killed the Harmonite, that was unexpected. And I healed myself as a direct result as well, because of the Soul Leech I have. Soul Leech is a pretty nifty ability that unfortunately oftentimes bugs a little bit. It means that if you attacked a unit, and on the same phase this unit died, you recover some of your health. But sometimes I've seen units not recover their health when they are supposed to, so there's a bit of a problem with that. Those guys decided not to move because this area was occupied, and they were like, well, it makes no sense to move to this hex now, since this hex is occupied, so we're gonna stand here and block the entire army. So there is that. Okay, you do, sir. You know what? You just move backwards and heal yourself. Actually, this will mean that those guys will take damage, so you move to here, I guess, and heal yourself because of reasons. You move to here, you... whatever. Like, whatever. Nothing matters now. Literally, I can just keep on walking backwards, you stand where you stand, end the battle, and I have taken some significant casualties, dealing almost no damage to the enemy. Both of my heroes will of course stay alive because they have the last stand ability, and technically speaking I did not lose, but I wasn't really able to deal any damage to the enemy either. Because firstly, I was a little bit unlucky with those critical misses, but secondly, and most importantly, the battleground was just ultimate effing BS. Like, I could not imagine this battleground being any worse than it was. Regardless, the battle is now finally over. So I lost 3 Star Wars, both of my heroes have been resurrected, 2 small Star Wars have taken some damage, 3 in fact, 4 in fact. The enemy lost a Harmonite. Hey, so this is a win! I killed the enemy army that attacked me! It's not a draw, it's a win! Go away, the game you drank. So I killed the enemy Harmonite, and that's it. No other units even took any damage. I mean, this guy took a little bit. But this is it. So that's not exactly ideal. I have to be entirely honest with you with that, but hey, things like that do happen. Now I have reinforcements, actually, more reinforcements, that is. But what I will do is, which army got attacked? First, this army got attacked. Alright, game, if you're gonna be like this, I'm gonna do something like so. And then when they try to attack again, if they try to attack again, I can simply retreat and keep the siege on going. Which is, like I said, of utmost importance. If I could change anything now, I would play this battle again and everything, but have my army on this side, so at least, you know, I wouldn't be attacked with this cliff like effing me up. I completely forgot that those Harmonics can still attack me, I'll be honest. That's my dumb little mistake. Like I said, I'm pretty good with strategy, not so good with tactics, so that's a little problem with that. However, things are progressing along, and I think I can go ahead and finish this turn as of right now. Meritocratic promotion will help me not a great deal, honestly. It's not a very big change. I can keep my armies more tightly packed, but as you can see, when the enemy attacks me in such location, then it still doesn't matter all that much. So my hero leveled up, let's have a quick look, and gave him the ability that he that is kind of decent on the everybody because extra defense is nice, but what they really need is extra attack on Broken Lord Stalwarts because you've seen how often they miss. And as a critically miss, it's kind of horrible. And they can never even get a full hit, they can at best get a partial hit, which is just dreadful, in all honesty. So the enemy attacked me again, and they attacked this army that just joined in the fray. So you know what I'm going to do? I admit, a little bit tempted to just go ahead and fire this out again. Now, I do not have any hero in the army that is being attacked. However, the enemy has some zealots that I could possibly get around to killing. And those warlocks have initiative 27, 24, I have, yeah, way less, alrighty then. So it would be actually kind of difficult to attack the zealots. I wonder how the battleground will look like though. I really do. Could be better, but at the same time I feel like I should possibly just retreat and keep the siege up for the time being, since this battle would not be won regardless. I could potentially damage the zealots and whatnot, but before I get more armies and get rid of those Harmonites within the city, I'm not too keen on my chances. So I will retreat, losing half of my HP, which is kind of horrible, but hey, things like that happen. And what are you even doing? I don't know. Okay, sure, you do what you do. I'm not even gonna pretend like I care. So you do this. What I could do is move those guys like so. That is not optimal. I was hoping I could move this guy over there, and I could not, which is a little bit annoying because I cannot swap those armies around now. Which is a little bit of a bummer because I weakened the siege I have going on in a city. So what I will have to do is just move all the towers except this one to this army to increase the amount of damage I deal to city fortifications. In fact, move this tower. No, I'll keep this tower over here. If I have to retreat, they will all be fine regardless. Let's have a quick think. I cannot understand this here, so yeah, that was a big mistake by me. I was hoping I could move in the weaker army to the front, so they'll out-cheese the game a little bit and make sure I take a little bit less damage next turn if I have to retreat, and I probably would have to. But unfortunately, I lost a little bit too much movement and things did not go quite according to plan. Things like that do happen. Next turn I'll be able to try and do what I wanted to. Maybe. Not quite though. So there is that. Users are continuing to make me some more units, that is nice. Let's make sure this tower is made on the next turn, but also let's make sure that I gain some more dust, because I can use it to heal my units, as you have obviously seen. So there is that. I can also sell my units for a lot of dust and not have my army, which is rather dumb if I could say so myself. I could start making those Minotaurs, by the way. But they do take quite forever to make, and the stats, while not bad, they're not exactly, you know, all that amazing. Still, compared to the enemy units, even the warlocks, they're subpar. And they take a lot more industry to actually create. So I'm not too keen on that. I could retreat better with them, that's true, and they are fast, so I could get to the battlefield faster. So, yeah, I'm not too keen regardless. Anyway, there is that done. Let's end the turn again. See what the AI is going to do. Obviously attack me, I mean that's only logical. They'll go ahead and try to use their Harmonites to do it. Probably attack my hero, maybe not, we'll see what they do. But like I said, I want to keep the siege up no matter what, because it weakens the enemy. They did not attack me, interesting. They keep on reinforcing with even more units, so there is that, that's important. But they did not attack me, and the heroes and armies are over here. That's another Harmonite that's just standing there. Eurus just standing here. And there is that, alright. So this Harmonite for whatever reason decided not to attack me. And now, since this guy is apparently too cowardly, although I don't know why he did not attack me, I'll just sit where I sit right now. Reactivate the booster. I cannot stress enough how unlucky it is, actually, to be fighting the other mages. Because like I said before, and I said so many times, other mages are the ultimate counter to Stalwart spam. Additionally, this battlefield also was BS. I think you could tell that I was a little bit salty about how this battlefield turned out to be. But regardless, just the enemy unit composition, it's the absolute best when dealing with me. Like, you saw that I was able to deal with that Hamlet reliably. If those were other manufacturing units or other units in general, sure, I could deal with that. No problem. Just let me at him. I'll kill him. Promise. But other mages are pretty good. As in, those witches, zealots, are the biggest problem I have right now. I face, in fact. So what do I do about it? How do I kill the zealots efficiently? Well, I'm not gonna make the best bishops, because they cost a lot of industry and they're not that efficient at helping me with my situation. They are ranged units, which is making me even consider making those. Because in the situation down south, as you can see, I could use some range. Quite badly, in fact, but the attack is horrible, they miss like all the time. The damage is also really kinda bad. In all honesty, if you're making death bishops, they're not gonna pay for themselves. Their attack is just too bad. I mean, look at it. 14 attack compared to the enemy's zealot 70 attack. That doesn't even look fair. So there is that. Of course, I could give them better equipment to increase it, but not by much. Trust me, it wouldn't be increased by much at all. Even if I were to give them like titanium equipment or something. Riders are a different alternative that is tempting, in all honesty, because I could put them out of range of the enemy warlocks and then use their high mobility and charge to try and deal damage to other enemy units while they are vulnerable. Their speed is in fact what I like the most right now, because as you have seen in this battle, speed is kind of what was my detriment for the time being. So I'll start working on those guys. Meanwhile, I will continue making stars, I think, but I also try to make as much dust as humanly possible, which is not quite a lot, but it is something. I could try to create a cellar and colonize in this region to create a road later on, just so I can move faster. But in all honesty, I would rather keep on making units, but what I can do is give myself another source of revenue. So what I'll do is go into the Minotaur and give him the most expensive equipment I can think of. So everything that is tier 2. So the more it costs, the better. There's no difference between the two, but Range Slayer is more useful in case I have to use this guy. Oh, he looks adorable. Tier 2 armor and everything, because it costs an absolute ton of industry. Tier 2 trinkets, yeah, all of that. So now this guy is pretty beef. He costs a ton of industry as well, like literally forever to make this guy. But when I sell him, he's gonna sell for a lot. And the enemy guy is not gonna use him because he's gonna be pretty bad regardless. I mean, look at that. I gave him all the equipment I could. He's still so bad. I mean, look at his stats. 53 attack, 54 defense, 30 something damage. Look at that now. Yeah, warlocks are better. And they're warlocks too, which means that they have very weak equipment on them. It's only iron equipment they wear. It's just, you know, AI. What can you do about it, honestly? Not much. I mean, warlocks are good to begin with, so let's remember about that, but still. Anyway, let's end this then, and actually this videocast has been long enough, so I'll end it right here. As you can see, things are a little bit dire, but I will not stop the siege. I'll in fact keep on going. Why could I not be given like Necrophages or something like this to kill? Necrophages are so nice and easy to kill and snipe early on. Other mages are the most difficult faction to snap and rush down. Regardless, it was PANCZASU, also known as the Mighty Mix Spammer. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you online.